In Japan, there was recently a woman who married a bot. Authenticity beats strategy.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again, and this is the next episode in Master Series 2025 on my YouTube channel. Today with me, and please welcome, Lovely Ibañez. She's a global business matchmaker, business owner, AI engineer, and behavioral scientist, and recently a TV personality. Her appearance in the RTL Plus documentary on the One Euro House initiative brought already a big public attention to her bold personal reinvention. She stands today as a voice for cross-cultural courage, modern transformation, and renewal. Welcome, Lovely.
Hi, Lana. Thank you very much for having me. I'm grateful for this opportunity. You look beautiful.
Thank you very much. So Lovely. My first question for you will be about identity and your home. You've lived across the cultures, born in the Philippines, worked in the Middle East and in the USA. Now you're in Germany. How has this multicultural journey shaped your sense of home?
That's a beautiful question, Lana. Before I answer your question, it brings me back to some moments or memories when I was in Rome and in Paris. And when you hear this, I was one time in Rome and I think it was in the underground. There was one man singing a song of longing, a song of loneliness. And while he was singing, me and some people as the passengers, we were all looking at one another. And so it's like we are communicating just to one another, looking at one another, being empathetic to this guy who was singing. And then when I was in Greece for some days, and I've been coming to the souvenir shop like nearly daily to check what's there. And on my last day, I told the lady who owns the shop, the souvenir shop. So I was paying and all the souvenirs at the cashier with her, and she just silently slipped a deck of cards, like winking to me, and I felt like, oh, that's very hospitable from her. And then when I arrived in the Frankfurt airport with two big heavy suitcases, so I packed my bags to live here as a student at that time. So two big heavy luggages, and the escalator was not working. So it was just a big heavy stairs. I think everybody knows this in the Frankfurt airport. And there was a lady, tattooed and everything. She was already so many steps up and looked back at me. She turned to me and I was like, and she just came down and helped me with my luggages, you know? So you're right. I've lived in many countries, now in Germany, before in USA, in the Middle East, and in Asia. And having traveled to more than 50 countries, where all my memories are scattered across the continents, I don't introduce myself by nationality anymore. It doesn't feel big enough to hold me. Home is no longer an idea. It's no longer tied to a geographical map. It's softer. It's more human. It's the feeling that you are understood and you are seen, and all those experiences that I was just remembering. This is the moment when you stop chasing a place and you start noticing the moments. Then you begin to understand who you really are. I feel this instant connection, this instant way of belonging to the community. And I also have some friends who would bring me to their houses, and there they would make me feel like I'm one of them. So it's a moment and it's this belonging. So that's what I call home.
Yeah, it's beautifully said. And it's an interesting perspective. And that resonates with me deeply. I also feel that the more I evolve, the less place-based my sense of home becomes. So Lovely.
Right.
What you are describing is almost a philosophy of identity home not as a location, but as perception and connection, momentum, as you said, something evolving, not stagnant.
Right.
Do you think more people today are moving in that direction, becoming internally anchored rather than geographically rooted?
Well, I would love to believe so. I mean, a lot of people are living a nomad life right now, traveling here and there, Asia, Europeans going to Asia, Asians moving somewhere else, Americans moving to Europe. There's a lot of nomad traveling and nomadic lifestyle. And I hope, I just hope that when they are doing that, they are also internally shedding new skin for themselves and understanding themselves more, that they are part of a bigger universe, you know?
So, following the previous question, I was born in Ukraine and grew up in Russia, but I don't consider myself as a typical Russian. In
You're
fact,
not.
yeah, people often meet me and I break their stereotypes about Russians. Do you see yourself as a cosmopolitan too? And how would you define what that means in your life today?
Mhm. I mean, people call me like I'm cosmopolitan. It's like a lifestyle brand, lovely cosmopolitan, you know. I remember growing up as a kid, we've been moving to, I don't know, 10 plus houses here and there within the cities, different cities. And I think I became cosmopolitan, not because I've traveled a lot, but it's because there are different versions of me that didn't feel real. And every move in every city, in every culture, it required me to unlearn something about myself. So it's
Mhm.
either a belief, a fear, or a label that someone already put, like lovely is so and so. You know, um, little by little, by removing all this belief, fear, label, anywhere you go, you become then unapologetically yourself. And this cosmopolitan energy is this curiosity, the humility to, and the openness, plus the courage to evolve. So I think that's the real cosmopolitan energy.
You made a bold and brave decision to pursue a one-euro house in Italy, as featured in your new RTL Plus documentary. In it, you shared the motivation and inner narrative that led you to say yes to that leap. Is Lovely still standing by that same motivation today, or has your perspective evolved since then?
That's a very good question, and thank you for calling it a bold leap. You know, I at that time I didn't call it bold. So it was during the corona that I was sitting in my apartment alone, and I was looking at outside of my window at the people passing by, and I was even posting some quotations like "Don't give up, cheer up," all these things to keep to uplift the people because everybody was not allowed to go out. And during these quiet times, this corona pandemic times, I then also spoke with myself and became quieter. And then oftentimes it would come to me, hey, is this how I want to be remembered? Is this how I want my life to be, to live it like this? I mean, chasing, endless chasing, and then stress, routine. And I said, no, I don't want this. I want connection, I want meaning, and I want a life well lived. And then I found I was searching for, okay, are there 1 year houses in this? And yeah, I found that there are 1 year houses. And I was even surprised to see that. And I saw, okay, broken houses, ceilings are falling, walls are crumbling. But these houses, they mirrored me. It's a little broken, a little misunderstood, a little forgotten, but yeah, full of potential. So yeah, I think it just became even stronger.
Thank you for this honest and heartfelt answer that you shared. Thank you so much. So, the short description of Goodbye Deutschland sounded like friendship is over, right? And indeed, the documentary focused on that lens. However, I sense the real narrative is much larger, much deeper. Your personal transformation layered over a deeper global challenge that can turn into new potential. Am I right?
Yes, you're absolutely. The story on TV is just a small frame. Yeah. Um, there's something that resonates with me about what Jim Carrey said, that on TV, on tabloids, on spreads, I mean, newspapers, people cut, copy, paste stories, and then they believe this to be true. And what was shown on TV was something on the surface. The real story is much deeper than that. It's about my personal transformation, my creativity, and spiritual growth. It's not just about renovating the one-year house. It's about me, becoming me, evolving me. And if somebody is evolving, 45 minutes is not enough to edit an evolving life.
Yeah.
And every creative endeavor shapes you as a person. And when you are following your dreams, it changes who you are. The one-year house mirrored the process of breaking, rebuilding, rediscovering, and ultimately rewriting myself. And as much as it is about the building, the renovation is the TV segment, but at the heart of it, it's about me following my dream and a well-lived life. The one-year house is the canvas, and the real bigger picture is me evolving as a person, transforming.
Amazing. Yeah, quite introspective and wise. This one-euro house concept sounds very Italian, and I found some recent statistics. According to Istat, 9.6 million out of 85.3 million houses in Italy, it's beyond 27%, are now not occupied by residents. And the number of buildings classified as calabenti, ruins, has more than doubled in 13 years. So this is a huge Italian problem. But are there similar opportunities or movements appearing in other countries as well?
Yeah, you're right, absolutely right. And thank you for the statistics. And it's growing, not just in Italy. I mean, Italy is really the root of where this one-year house program started. There are even towns arguing which was first. I think it was starting in the late 2000, 2009, 2010. Sambuca, Salemi, these are all part of the southern Italy, and then Ganji. And they're all like vying who was the first to introduce this program. So that was late 2000 that it all began in Italy, still growing, and it became popular in 2000. I think it was 2018. I discovered about it, and there was already a TV series about it in BBC. And then 2019, 20, it's growing. But there are myths about this one-year house program, and let's debunk this while we're having this conversation. The first myth is that it's one-year house, it's cheap, I can live cheaply. No, that's not true. The house is just a symbolic price. The €1 is just a symbolic price for the house. But you need to renovate it. You have to pay legally, and most of these houses in Italy are owned by different people.
Oh,
Like the one-year house that I bought, it's owned by 4 people. So they inherited it, and then now recently one person just died, and so this succession of the ownership is gonna take a long time in Italy. Yeah, and the second myth is about this one-year house is just an EU program or a nationwide law. It's not. It's very local. It's very local to every community where they have this program. I have the list of all these communities, and so if people would want to get this list, I believe you have this on your website, Lana, right?
yes.
So they can contact all the municipalities if they still have the one-year house programs currently right now in 2025. So it's not an EU rule. It's not a national level, but it's a local level. So the other myth is that everybody who's applying for this one-year house succeeds. I'm sorry to say, but no. they receive a lot of applications, all these communities. And so what they do in Italy is that they make auctions for all these houses. And it's not going to be €1 anymore when they do the auctions. So
Oh,
the reality, yeah, because the high application volumes, the reality is that there's a selection criteria and you have to pay a certain guarantee with some towns, communities, and you have to repair it within the next 3 years or so. And some towns requires that you live there. And some towns don't require that you live there and make an Airbnb business out of it.
mhm.
So these are the three important myths that I would like to debunk, given this opportunity to talk about the 1 Year House program. And if you want, I can give you a chronological story about it that I said earlier. It started in 2008 in southern part of Italy, which is in Salemi, and Musumeli was very popular with this because of the TV show, and they have also they did a lot of websites where they were showing all these 1 year houses. You can Google a lot of these websites, but be careful because some of them are like charging exorbitant fees to search for you the home, and they have also the workers together with it. So just be careful out there because there are a lot of people taking opportunity of this 1 year house program. So as I said, it started in 2008, late 2000 in Italy. And then there was massive adoption by the rural municipalities in 2013 and 2016 within Italy. Then this global media attention came in 2017 with Sambuca Musumeli boom because they have it on the websites and so on. And 2018, Spain copied. They were promoting the shift toward repopulation grants. They were giving incentives actually in Spain. And then 2019, Portugal started also with the low cost rural property auctions. 2020, France, you won't believe it. France also, they had a symbolic price for 1 year homes. Yeah, in rural communities. It's hard for me to pronounce those French towns names. And then 2021 is Croatia. So they have abandoned property transfer trials. But then also in 2022, you see in Ireland, there are also websites in Ireland where you can renew the town, their vacancy grants as well. So what's beautiful with this is that municipalities give you money, or you have to show that you have money to be able to renew and renovate these houses or towns. Even towns are being sold as it is. And this is not just in Europe. 2023, okay, France again, the former 1 year house style auctions, and 2024 to present, there's a lot of hybrid models where you would have to renovate and you would have some contracts. But it's surprising that in Japan, this already started in the 1950s, 1970s. After the post-war urban migration, there's an urban depopulation that began. And in 1993, around 4.5 million vacant homes was a major benchmark for Japan. 1993, imagine 4.5 million vacant homes. And that doubled in 2018. It became around 8 million. Then
Oh,
and 2019, around 9 million. These are called Akiya houses. They even have Akiya banks. They're not really banks per se, but it's a database of all the houses. Because in Japan, those houses are inherited, and the people who inherited it doesn't want to take it anymore. And you know that there's always earthquake in Japan. So all these regulations about how to renew it, and then you have to pay taxes. Uh, of course, in Japan, if it's not populated. If a house is populated in Japan, you don't pay taxes, but you pay taxes when the house is not populated. So this is really such a big problem. These communities are dying not because they lack beauty, but it's because they lack people. They lack people that would love to stay and live there, work there, and just have a sense of new community. People, I think after the corona, the pandemic, people would want to be rooted again. And these places, these uninhabited communities. This this is a place where one can root themselves again, but this time in meaning.
Incredible. You shared several videos on social media over the last year showing the process, concerns, and naturally difficulties. Apart of the challenges or requirements that you have mentioned already answering my previous question, what are the main other challenges on the path of one Oira House journey?
Okay, so I was in a shooting the other day, and the lady was asking me, "Oh, do you do this more often?" And I said, "No, I have around 20 shootings this year." And she said, "Oh, so how did you become a, how did you have all these projects?" And I was like, "I had a One Year House documentary shown on TV here." And she said, "Oh, really? I would also want to have a One Year House. Can you tell me more about it?" So, I had the shooting for the One Year House documentary in 23, and now it's 2025, but still not a lot of people knows about it. There are a lot of people who knows about it, like in America, in Australia. It's going far beyond the other continents, but
Brazil
it's
as well.
still, yeah, but yeah, Brazil too, because there's one Italian community there. We know that they're promoting it highly in Brazil, but not a lot of people knows about it. So I'm like, why would you then, yeah, buy a house, be in debt, when you can just populate these cities and revive it, make it sustainable for people, put your farm there. At first I was like giving up because of this cultural misunderstandings. I don't speak Italian, and I would always need somebody in Italian who could say to the mayor what I mean. This journey is really not romantic. It's really, really difficult. I mean, 2 years already of working on this project, spoken to so many people who wants to invest, who wants their companies to be with me, to be transparent there, to show what they could bring to the communities. And luckily, in the last meeting with the mayor, he thanked me for my patience. Otherwise, he said that other people would have already given up. And that's true, because there were times that I think to myself, hey, this is a big mistake am I doing here? And then suddenly a friend of mine would say, go on, keep on. A neighbor would even support me, and sometimes even a follower would write to me on Instagram and tell me, please let me know if there's a new program, new house. And so I share to them the list. So then I realized, okay, yeah, um, this is something that is memorable, something that is meaningful to do. And then when I was in an event where we were pitching about ideas, and I pitched about the One Year House project, the moderator came to me afterwards and said, wow, that's such a huge project you have. Here's my card. I know you can't manage that on your own. So he's already a senior, and I'm like, okay, thank you very much. I'm very grateful that you see that this is not a one person task. It's for everyone who is interested to repopulate the town and to revive the town. Come, everybody, let's join hands and do it.
Lovely. You've been entrepreneurial from early on and have founded companies in different countries. What are the 3 key lessons that your business life has taught you?
Well, I didn't learn to become an entrepreneur from the books. I mean, although I studied business and have a master's degree, life actually taught me more about entrepreneurship. When I was around 9 or 10, my grandmother every weekend would take us to the cafeteria that she owns. We would help washing the dishes. Just imagine, I was small, and then the sink was very high, and there were 3 little bowls where we would have to put the glass on one with the soap, one with the water, and 3 other bowls. It's cute to look at, but then I realized this is when my grandmother instilled with me and to my brother and sister hard work at an early age. So hardworking is very important, to be hardworking. And then every Christmas at that time, as again 9, 10 years old, my grandmother would put a big table in front of her cafeteria, and I would be selling hundreds every day, hundreds of loaves of bread. And I was a kid. I don't know if that was a charm that, a kid is selling,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, in 2, 3 hours, I sell them all just by standing there. I mean, it's not as cold as in freezing here in Germany, but I was a child back then. But yeah, it's thanks to my grandmother. Looking back, it's because of her I became an entrepreneur, and by watching other relatives who are into business. And from my grandmother, I learned that integrity is the currency that never loses the value. So if you say what you're gonna do, do it. If you say if you want to do something, then do it. People are watching you all the time. They feel your truth before they even trust your words. And experience also taught me that in partnerships, the values must be aligned. I mean, I've had 3 times businesses and partners where the values were so different. I mean, in the beginning, they already lied about the financial situation. So this is a really big learning experience for me. And it's really important that your values align with the people that you're working with. And the world taught me about authenticity. It's a superpower if you have the courage, if you want to use it. Authenticity beats strategy all the time. So these are my three takeaways. And success is not the goal, alignment is. You have to be aligned with yourself, with your values, with what you want to accomplish, and with the world, with the external.
Yeah, thank you for sharing these insights. You recently earned a certification in AI engineering, in addition to your IT master's degree. How do you see the role of AI evolving over the next 2 or 5 years? And what risks and limitations do you believe people should be aware of?
Before I answer the future, it's a beautiful question. I would want to come back to the current situation, what's happening right now. I think a lot of people fear AI because it feels unknown. But to me, AI is less like a machine, it's more of like a collaborator. In Japan, there was recently a woman who married a bot. It's because
Oh,
the bot was always there. Yeah, you haven't heard about it. The
no,
bot was
tell me
always
more.
there. Yeah, and she married really the bot, and there's a real ceremony about that. So she married the bot because the bot was always there, always dependable, always reliable. So just imagine the future of machines and humans being together. And there was even an AI that sued the person, read all the emails, and send it to the people and say, hey, you are cheating. So this is the scary part about AI. And I can understand the people who fear it, especially those that never grew up with computers, the people that are in their 70s, 80s. But then, of course, in any innovation, advancement, people have to adjust. AI is not about just prompting. I think you have this in your experience as an entrepreneur. You already have a salesperson. You can ask ChatGPT or other LLMs to create for you 30-day program, what you're going to post on your social media. So you have a marketing person, you have an operations person telling you, calculate to me all the expenses for the whole month, for the whole year. You have R&D. I want to develop something with Arasoma or yoga. Give me what has not been developed yet. You can do all this. So you have a team member, and that's AI. And what people don't know yet is, for example, you have your fridge, you come home late at night, you don't know, you're lazy, you're tired. Take a picture of your fridge and ask AI, what can I cook from these recipes that I have in my fridge? Or if, let's say, you want to go to a lot of theme parks and you just have 1 hour to spend in one theme park, use the video and say, this is my location, this is where I am. I have only 1 hour to enjoy all the rides. Which one should I use first? That's also, video with the location. This is possible with AI, and not a lot of people are using it. So please, people, use it. But I would love to say use a little bit of caution, because everything that you put out there, it's difficult to erase. Although there's a setting on your email, on your Gmail account, that you can say remove all these things with Gemini. Please do all this safety and precautions. And the other question is, who owns all this? We have the big companies, Nvidia, Google, Facebook. And that's the most scary part. If all these people, I mean, these corporations, we let them own this data, these data centers. And by the way, these data centers, they also cost a lot of energy. So just imagine, we have data centers, we have utilities that are making these AI systems run. So if you're going to think who owns all of these utility companies in AI software, as it is, AI companies, this is where the problem is. There should be transparency. There should be ethical ways on how to use AI. But the AI is not trained to be moral. So that's why people are scared that AI can kill them. And I wouldn't say no, that it's not possible. People can really be exterminated by AI. I mean, right now, if your job is just information in, information out, you will be out of job pretty soon. There are already a lot of layoffs happening. But if you are not ready with all these changes, and there's no ethical transparency and so on, yeah, you need to prepare yourself, of course. And the governments as well will be using AI systems. I think in Albania, they already have an AI ministry, which gave birth to 30 plus ministries or so on. If you're following the news, it's quite insane, you can say that. But that's where we're heading. And I think the biggest question you have to ask yourself is not what AI will become, but how will I be evolving, or how would I be as a person with AI? Because in the future, Siri will come alive to be next to you, not to be next to you, maybe as a robot, but with an AI system that tells you, hey, Lana, you're traveling, you forgot your passport last year, here it is. Don't forget about that. So this is already all possible.
Yeah, well structured. So yeah, in overall, I would say it's as most cases and aspects in our life. So this is inner and outer transformation. So it will require, as you already noticed and said, personal on individual level, it will require individual transformation and learning and adaptation. And
Mhm.
on the other hand, it's about, as you said, ethical rules and legacy, I would say.
Yeah. Also the transparency, and we have to be vigilant ourselves. Do we want to allow all these big companies to govern what is to be, how this technology is going to be used? Of course not, right?
I think uh, it reminds me one TV serial, Person of Interest, if you have watched it, and
Oh, yes, right.
it
That's
was
so true.
it was launched nearly 10 years ago. I think it's 2012 till 2016 was all the seasons. So they showed pretty overall landscape of this matter.
Right. That's so true. I'm happy that you brought that up, because remember, they created an AI which is going to be a god. And this is the same thing that's happening right now. You're creating a god. And so who owns this god? You know? Do we own the god altogether? Is this god going to look after us? Or is this god with morals or not? This AI god. So these are the questions that you have to be asking yourselves.
Let's back to one Oira house. Should we expect a second episode? a sort of developing saga of your one euro house journey?
Yes. These projects don't end when the cameras stop rolling, they grow slowly, like the roots, the new friendships, the new community, the new meaning. A single house can change an entire town, not overnight, but in years. This is a big transformation, and I hope that the future one-year house, they will not be like museums, but there will be like launch pads for innovation, like innovation hubs. The first episode was about the spark, and the chapter two will be the fire. That's where the magic is going to happen, really.
Yes.
Manifesting it. You're going to be on part two.
Let's talk a little bit about the future. The world is struggling with climate change, ecological crisis, unhealthy lifestyles, and systemic imbalance. Looking toward 2030, 2035, how do you imagine one euro houses combined with AI, green technologies, and futuristic design thinking integrating into these new urban models? Perhaps this could be eco communities, tech villages, scientific, sustainable hubs, or regenerative zones?
I think you already answered the question. um, I'm not a futuristic person. I want to live in the moment. But I see these towns becoming living communities where old stones meet new ideas. As I said earlier, these are going to be launch pads or innovation hubs. It's not going to be museums of the past. And these houses, they're going to learn together with the people living in it. So that's the role of the AI, managing the energy consumption and everything, managing everything that the needs of the people living in it have. So, like the solar energy, renewable energy that you're going to be using in these sustainable towns, they will no longer be forgotten towns. They're going to be transformed into a lot of innovative projects. That's how I see it. So, these are all launch pads for the future.
Yeah, it's a beautiful vision. Repopulating forgotten towns, as you said, with intention and mindfulness. And of course, in my opinion, it so much depends on the lifestyle and values that new residents bring. In my opinion, with the new technologies and the development of the world, people must undergo their own transformation and cast off old unnecessary beliefs and habits. To become a butterfly, a caterpillar
Right,
must stop being a caterpillar and break out of its cocoon.
right. Beautifully said. Yes.
I like how you painted it. Green technologies integrated into every rooftop and street, hubs of creativity and learning, blending technologies, nature, and purpose into a fully alive community, as you said. So I imagine something like green, mindful, smart cities, communities built around
Mm-hmm.
wellness,
Mm-hmm.
science, creativity,
Longevity. Yes.
yes, and filled with happiness, of course. Certainly, I would like to fill those places with pure, no harmful habits, no addictions, people sportive, creative, healthy, vegan, educated, high conscious, curious, of course, and high vibrational people. It's almost like the macro society described in T. Alexander's book, 2150 AD.
Okay. I didn't read that book, but yes, these communities will be like that. It depends, of course, on the geopolitical situation. Yeah. But if the trend will be really, there are already now communities being wellness centers and longevity places, a lot of agri homes or agri communities where people can grow their own food, harvest their own food, feed themselves, So less with technology, but more in being back to nature. And a lot of studies are there that these people living in such communities are happier people.
Lovely. You've become one of the most recognized voices around One Euro House movement in Germany, certainly. What message or mission do you want people to remember you for?
Wow. Okay. Haven't thought about that lately, but yeah, I think my mission is not to buy the one-year houses, but it's to revive what has been abandoned or forgotten, to make it more beautiful again, to make it livable, and to show that abandoned places doesn't mean hopeless, that it means waiting. I mean, if I can help one person believe that their life isn't over, that it can be rebuilt, then everything was worth it. I think that's the beauty of this project.
Wow. Oh, yes. Beautifully said. That's a powerful intention. And it resonates with me personally. I don't own anything in the conventional sense. No real estate, no cars, no gold, no kids, no pets. Instead, I create, I educate, I explore, I bring new ideas and vision to life. It's a different kind of value system, and maybe only a small minority truly understands it, but it's incredibly liberating.
That's true. Ultimate freedom.
And finally, when people look back years from now, beyond Italy, beyond the show, how would you like to be remembered? As a storyteller, a builder, an innovator, or perhaps something else entirely?
I would say I could be a combination of everything that you mentioned. A storyteller, but not just a storyteller, but the one whose story and life has really been well lived. And if I would want people to remember me by, it will be that I brought life back to people, to places, to possibilities. And maybe, just maybe, my story helped someone rediscover a part of themselves, the part that they thought they probably lost. I think that's the most beautiful way to be remembered.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Lovely Ibañez on Master Series 2025. Lovely, thank you for being with me today in my eco studio. It was a true pleasure and an honor to have you here. Thank you for your authenticity, your unique vision, your powerful and inspiring thoughts, your strong personal stance, your deep insights, and your richly layered soul. I'm grateful for this conversation.
Wow, thank you so much, Lana. That's so much. I'm an admirer of your master series. I've seen people you've interviewed, Iris and Colette, and they were really good. So thank you for giving me this opportunity and for letting me share the One Year House program and my insights and my story, of course. Thank you so much.
Dear all, follow us, subscribe, share, comment, and like, and follow Lovely on her social media. All the details and all the links, you will find all the helpful info in the description of this video. That was the final episode in Master Series 2025, and I'm looking forward to Master Series 2026. Stay tuned, subscribe, and follow us.
Okay.